if you go on our website, VERSA-LOK Midwest, go under Contractor Resources, you can download VERSA-LOK and Willow Creek estimating software. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Willow Creek, but today we're just focused on walls. Once you download that, like up here, it'll just be on your desktop, so you can easily click on it. You can save projects. This is kind of the welcome screen. It's not just retaining walls that you can estimate. You can estimate out columns, stairs, freestanding walls, and then this other tab here you see is My Projects. So you can go on there and see, like here, Total Home, St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. When you have that project this spring, we'll go back right to it. So the other thing that it'll do is you can go to Edit Preferences, put your name, address, phone number, and kind of print it out for a sheet. It looks a lot better giving a customer an estimate with this software than on a bar napkin, right? Okay, so for our little demonstration here, let's say I went out to a job, I estimated a project. What we're going to do, we're going to just simply say that we're starting off at 0 feet, right? The top of the wall is 0, the bottom of the wall is 0. And then we're going to jump up to 6 feet tall. And it's 50 feet down the line, right? We just took a tape, it's 50 lineal feet. We're going to put stairs in the middle, and the right side is going to be the same as the left side. Pretty simple, right? So we estimated that out. We go onto our software. We go create, and we're going to create a retaining wall. We're going to click on our standard tab, and right away you'll notice there's these different conditions that we've been talking about over the engineering course, right? There's soil conditions, top of wall conditions, bottom of wall conditions. These are all things that we need to keep in mind because it's going to affect how the wall works, right? Most of the time, you're not going to be working in gravel conditions, right? It's going to be silt clay or clay soils unless you're in a really sandy spot. Top of wall conditions, residential traffic load, commercial load, slopes you can put on the top of the wall. Bottom conditions, 2-to-1 slope and 3-to-1 slope. So this does a good job. You can really dial in what the project is. If it's beyond the conditions that this estimating software gives you, it's probably time to talk to us and get an engineer involved. Sometimes it'll error out and say, oh, this cannot be done. Well, give us a shout, and it's probably because of maybe a global stability issue or something of that nature. So like I said, and easily, let's say, you know, Mrs. Jones called you up and she said, hey, I've got a 6-foot tall wall and I want to park my RV on top of it, right? Well, even before you go look at the job, you can pop on here and you see where it says exposed height. You put in 6 feet, and right off the get-go, there's a station view here. And it shows you that you've got 6 foot, you've got 1 foot embedment, and you've got some geogrid. But Mrs. Jones said that she wanted to park her RV on top of it, right? So now we're going to put a commercial traffic load on top of it, and it spits out a different grid length. So right away you can just pop on, print this off, and then try to start to have a conversation with her about geogrid and the whole process and what you're going to do. Excavate out, you're not just going to be throwing up block as a veneer. You're going to be digging into the site, and you're going to be compacting as you go and all that good stuff, and then hopefully you catch her when she faints and sees the price of the retaining wall, right? So, but for our scenario again, we're going to go and click on our multi-station wall. And what this is saying is that there's multiple points down the wall, just like how you would run your tape and you start at 0 and you go to, you know, every time that there's a wall elevation increase or decrease, you can dial the estimating software in. So we said that we started off at 0 and 0. And I said 50 feet down the line, our top of wall went to 6, and bottom of wall is at 0, right? So there it starts to spit out the information. You can see the different wall heights, the different stations. At 0, obviously, we don't have any geogrid. At station 2, now with these conditions, we've got this listed. Now, let's go to silt or clay soils, right? So as you change the conditions, the geogrid's going to change, the estimate's going to change. Next thing, we said we were going to put on our little estimate here. So I'm at the corner at 50 feet, and now we're going to put stairs in there, right? Well, if we're 6 feet tall at this going, and our rise to run is 6 inches by 12 inches deep, I've got to add 12 more lineal feet for this cheek wall. So I'm just going to add it into this one wall, right? So I'm going to add a station. We're going to add 12 feet onto it. And now I'm going to type 6 for the top elevation and 6 for the bottom. And right there you can see our third elevation, our third station that we have. This basically is your corner, right, where the 2 is. Now you can see how much in elevation this increased very, very quickly. Well, maybe for the top of wall, maybe I'm just going to put in, let's say, 5 feet instead. You see how that line changed? Because, maybe I don't want to cut it that close with the cheek wall. Maybe I want to bury more, or maybe I want to do the whole thing. Maybe it's at 0 feet I want to do, and I just want to make one cut and build a big pedestal stairs because I really like Jim, and he needs to put his kids through college, so we need to use more VERSA-LOK block, right? So you can dial in how much block you want for your estimate. Now, we can go back, we can save the project, or whatever project you want to save it as, and you go back to your projects and you can open it up, right? And now we're back to the wall, this one retaining wall. Well, we said in our estimate, the right side is just like the left, right? It's similar, same. So we're going to do here, we can type in 2, and now we've doubled our quantities, okay? And now, but we're not done because we've got the walls accounted for, but we don't have the stair treads accounted for. So we're going to go add a feature, and now not a retaining wall or a column, but we're going to add a stair tread, and we're going to add an inset stair tread. And now you can see here, you see how this is grayed out, and this is dark black. It is just accounting for the stair treads for your estimate. It's not accounting for your cheek wall that we just did. We already figured that in. We got the left side, the right side, we're good to go. But what it is going to do is it's going to say, okay, a 32-inch wide stair tread, that's a little short. Maybe we'll do 48 inches, so 3 VERSA-LOK block. And then we're going to type in our exposed height at 6 feet. And there, the cross section, you can see it's splitting it into 3 different pedestals, because eventually you're just going to be using up so much block that it's maybe not good for your estimate, and you would want to cut it into 3s like this. It's all in how you build. If you don't build like that, maybe you wanted to extend it, maybe you're more efficient at 5 out or whatever. Just, you can account for the block with the different scenarios by adding or subtracting. But for now, we're just going to say that's good to go. You can view the quantities for each individual. This is the units, the exposed units, the embedded units for the stair tread, how many cap, adhesive, and then leveling pad aggregate for that stair tread. You can do this, click on the tab for the retaining wall, and same thing, you can view quantities for this retaining wall. Now this is, remember, double the quantities because we doubled it up in the beginning. We hit 2, so we're doubling the quantities of our original estimate. So project overview. Now I can look at and hit project quantities, and this is everything. This is both of our walls and our stair tread accounted for. And the nice thing too is on here, when you have GeoGrid, you can start to see, you know, you've got how many exposed, how many embedded, total units, A and B cap, pins, adhesive, leveling pad aggregate, how much gravel on your base, drainage aggregate, how much clear rock you're going to need, reinforcement volume, how much earth you're going to be actually taking out and putting back compacted, right? All that takes time. And then how much geogrid. So very easily, you know, the estimating software, you can see how, if I can do it, you guys can do it. You can see how easy it is just to pop in, do the different elevations. You know, it doesn't have to be zero. It can be, if you're reading from a plan that already has grades, you can put in the grades and plug it out. Or if, you know, we do estimates all the time. So give us a call, our engineering can do estimates or whatever. But this is for you guys. I know you guys wear a lot of different hats throughout the year. Usually you're doing the bids late at night, you know, where I'm probably not going to answer the phone. Well, then you can pop on and get your estimate and keep going the next day. Now let's say you did your bid, right? And you went there, you talked to her, she was impressed, but you showed her columns and she wanted to do columns, right? 2 columns on the end as a feature. She wants some lights, some light the night feature on there. And so we're going to go back, open up the estimating software again, go back to our estimate. We're going to add another feature. Now we're going to add columns, 20-inch columns. And any of these, you know, you see how I can pop in and go in here. You can print any of these off for details for showing your customers. And we're going to say, let's do a 3-foot tall column. So there we go. We've got that, but right, we want 2 columns, not 1. We go to our project overview, and now for the columns, we type in 2. Now we go to print our project quantities, and that's everything plus 2 columns. Easy peasy. Any questions on estimating software in general? No? The only thing I forgot, it doesn't work on Mac. It's just PC, so.